Have you ever looked back on your life and thought, what I had made different choices? What if I had truly prioritized myself? What if there was a way to live without regrets, focusing on what really matters in the face of life's challenges? Today, we're diving into a philosophy that's all about living on your own terms, without the fear of regret. Stoicism. Let's talk about how Stoic legends can show us how to prioritize ourselves in this chaotic world. Welcome to this deep dive into Stoic philosophy, where we'll explore how the Stoics have shown us how to live without regret by prioritizing ourselves. Stoicism teaches us that life isn't about avoiding difficulties or constantly seeking external validation, but about aligning ourselves with virtue, inner strength, and wisdom. Today, we're going to unpack how you can apply these timeless lessons to live with more purpose and fewer regrets. Whether you're facing uncertainty in life, struggling with regret, or simply feeling lost in the noise of external expectations, this video is for you. Stoicism has been a guiding light for individuals through the ages, and its principles are just as relevant now as they were thousands of years ago. As someone who's navigated their own challenges, I can tell you that when I first encountered Stoicism, it felt like I had unlocked a secret to living more fully. By following Stoic teachings, I've been able to live in a way that minimizes regret and focuses on what truly matters, my own choices and actions. Section 1. The first core concept: you are in control of your own life. One of the central tenets of Stoicism is that we can control only one thing: our own actions and thoughts. Everything else, our circumstances, the opinions of others, and even outcomes, are outside of our control. In a world that often feels chaotic, this realization can bring you immense peace. Think about a time when you felt overwhelmed by a situation outside of your control, maybe a job loss, a breakup, or a failure. The Stoic response is clear. Instead of focusing on what you can't control, focus on your response. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and one of the most famous Stoics, reminds us that it's not what happens to us, but how we react to it, that defines our life. So, how do we take this lesson and apply it to our daily lives? Well, the next concept will show us how to use this control to focus on what matters most. Section 2. The second core concept: live in accordance with nature and virtue. According to Stoicism, to live without regret, we must live in accordance with nature, meaning aligning our actions with reason and virtue. Stoics believe that we are naturally inclined toward wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, and when we live in harmony with these virtues, we are at peace with ourselves and the world around us. One of the most famous Stoic figures, Epictetus, was born a slave, yet he practiced these principles relentlessly. Despite his circumstances, he chose to embody wisdom and resilience. It's said that he never let his external situation define his happiness, and this is a crucial lesson we can all learn from him. In your life, what would it look like if you focused on virtue in every action, regardless of external circumstances? So now we understand that prioritizing yourself and living with virtue is key to living a life free of regret. But there's more to it. Section 3. The third core concept: embrace the present and practice negative visualization. Another powerful Stoic practice is negative visualization, the act of imagining the worst-case scenario to appreciate what we have. This doesn't mean being pessimistic, but rather developing an attitude of gratitude by contemplating the impermanence of life. It's about appreciating what we have now and making sure we live fully in the present moment. Consider how many times we take our daily routines for granted: our health, our loved ones, our opportunities. Seneca, one of the most respected Stoic philosophers, advised us to practice negative visualization so that we can understand the value of what we currently possess and live each day as though it could be our last. By fully embracing the present, we can start to make choices that reflect our true values. But there's one more thing to consider that ties all of this together. Section 4. Further analysis or contrasting opinions. Is Stoicism the only path to a life without regrets? While Stoicism offers incredible wisdom, some might argue that living with no regrets could sometimes mean being too detached or unemotional. Are there times when we should allow ourselves to feel regret or act impulsively? Some philosophers suggest that embracing our emotions and making mistakes can be just as valuable as living rationally. While Stoics recommend maintaining control over our emotions and reactions, there's room to acknowledge that life is complex. Perhaps there are moments when embracing vulnerability or regret leads to deeper self-awareness. The key is knowing when to prioritize your own growth over external validation. Absolutely. Here's a continuation with 5 more detailed sections in the same style and theme. These sections will build on the Stoic philosophy, keeping the theme of prioritizing yourself, living with no regrets, and focusing on what you can control. Each section will be well explained and relevant to the initial script's tone and flow. Section 5. The 4th core concept, the power of self-reflection and journaling. One of the most powerful tools in Stoicism is self-reflection. Stoics believe in constantly examining one's thoughts and actions to ensure they align with their core values. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, wrote extensively in his personal journals, which were not meant for public eyes. He used them as a method of self-reflection and a way to connect with his Stoic ideals. Have you ever had a moment where you just felt like you were losing control or making poor decisions? In those moments, writing your thoughts down can be incredibly powerful. Journaling helps you clear your mind, gain perspective, and assess your actions. A great example of this practice is how modern leaders, like Bill Gates, use journaling to maintain mental clarity and reflect on their goals and decisions. It's not about documenting every detail, but rather examining what you can learn from your experiences. By making time for regular self-reflection, we can recognize patterns in our behavior, improve our decision-making, and ultimately live a life that's more intentional. Let's explore another Stoic principle that focuses on our role in the world. Section 6. The 5th core concept: embrace challenges as opportunities for growth. Stoicism teaches that adversity is not something to fear, but rather something to embrace. The Stoic mindset sees obstacles as opportunities to grow. Seneca said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." This means that hardship isn't something to avoid, it's something to learn from. Consider the famous Stoic figure, Epictetus, who was born into slavery and faced immense hardship throughout his life. Despite these challenges, he became one of the most influential philosophers of all time. His teachings remind us that we don't grow from comfort, but from pushing through difficulties. Think about your own life. What challenge have you faced that, upon reflection, helped you become stronger or wiser? By embracing challenges, we're not just surviving, we're actively shaping ourselves into better individuals. And this ties into the Stoic understanding of how we can develop a stronger, more resilient character. Section 7. The sixth core concept: detachment from external outcomes. One of the most profound teachings of Stoicism is the idea of detaching yourself from the outcomes of your actions. This doesn't mean giving up on goals or becoming apathetic. It means focusing on doing your best without being overly attached to results. This concept is often referred to as amor fati, or love of fate. It's about accepting that, regardless of the outcome, your actions are valuable because you've acted with integrity. Take the example of Olympic athletes. They train for years with the ultimate goal of winning, but their success isn't solely determined by the medal. Their success comes from how they approach each training session, their resilience through setbacks, and their commitment to their craft. The outcome, whether they win or lose, doesn't define them. This is a Stoic approach to life. It's not about external validation, but about doing what you can control with excellence. Living with detachment frees us from the emotional roller coaster of success and failure. It allows us to focus on the process, not the product. So, how can we cultivate this mindset in our daily lives? Let's dive into the next Stoic principle.
Section 8. The seventh core concept: the importance of community and connection.
While Stoicism emphasizes personal responsibility, it also acknowledges the importance of community. The Stoics believed that we are part of a larger whole and that our actions should benefit not only ourselves but the people around us. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself that we are all part of the same universe and must live in harmony with others. Think about your own social circles, your family, friends, or colleagues. Are you actively contributing to their well-being? The Stoics didn't see the pursuit of virtue as a solitary journey. They saw it as a way to elevate those around them. A good example of this is the way volunteers and philanthropists live by Stoic ideals. They serve not out of obligation, but because their purpose aligns with a greater good. By building relationships rooted in mutual respect and shared growth, we not only live more virtuous lives, but we also help others do the same. But how do we ensure these relationships remain grounded in the principles of Stoicism? That's what we'll explore in the next section. Section 9. The eighth core concept: letting go of ego and self-importance. One of the most challenging aspects of Stoicism is learning to let go of our ego and stop placing so much importance on our image and status. The Stoics taught that true freedom comes from not being enslaved by the desire for praise or the fear of criticism. In fact, the more you can detach from the ego, the more liberated you'll feel. Think about how often we seek validation from others, whether through social media, promotions, or public recognition. Marcus Aurelius himself, despite being one of the most powerful men in the world, repeatedly reminded himself that external power or status meant nothing compared to internal virtue. The lesson here is to stop seeking external validation and focus on your own character. You can still achieve great things, but don't let the desire for accolades define you. Letting go of our ego brings freedom, but it also brings greater clarity. With a clearer sense of self, we can act with more intention and integrity. Now, let's wrap up our discussion with a final Stoic principle. Section 10. The ninth core concept: the role of mindfulness and awareness in Stoic living. Finally, Stoicism teaches the importance of mindfulness, being fully present in the moment. We live in a world filled with distractions, but the Stoic practice of mindfulness can bring us back to center. It's about being aware of your thoughts, actions, and emotions without being controlled by them. By practicing mindfulness, we can more easily recognize when we're straying from our Stoic principles and course correct in real time. Consider how mindfulness can impact your daily life. Whether it's pausing before responding in a heated conversation or taking a moment to reflect on your actions after a tough day, mindfulness brings you back to your core values. One study even found that practicing mindfulness can reduce stress and increase emotional intelligence, both qualities the Stoics highly valued. Mindfulness is the anchor that helps you stay grounded as you navigate life's ups and downs. By being present in the moment, you can maintain your stoic composure no matter what external events unfold. So, let's recap. You control your thoughts and actions. External events do not define you. Live according to nature and virtue by focusing on wisdom, courage, and justice in everything you do. Embrace the present by practicing gratitude and negative visualization. And finally, consider the balance between stoic detachment and embracing life's ups and downs. Both offer lessons on how to live fully. Living with no regrets isn't about avoiding pain or mistakes. It's about accepting that we are always in control of how we respond, how we grow, and how we prioritize what truly matters to us. If you found these Stoic principles helpful, drop a comment below sharing your thoughts on how you can live a life free of regret. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos that bring timeless wisdom into your modern life. And share this video with someone who might need a little Stoic inspiration today. Remember, living a life with no regrets doesn't mean being perfect. It's about choosing to focus on the things within your control, your thoughts, your actions, your character, and letting go of the rest. Stoicism isn't just a philosophy. It's a way of living with intention and purpose, and we can all practice it every day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.